Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new Skullcandy Mod XT True Wireless Earbuds. Now with it having the XT at the end, it means this is a Walmart exclusive. They've basically been releasing XT versions of other Skullcandy earbuds that have come out, but as of right now, I haven't been able to find any other Skullcandy Mod earbuds out there, except for some random site that has them at about $10 more, and they come in a gray color. But the XT model, which we're going to look at today, is available in black, and like I said, it's available at Walmart, which I will put a link in the description. And I do believe that Skullcandy is going to be widely releasing these very soon. But with checking out this pair, it does come in at 50 bucks, which makes it a little bit more than what Skullcandy has been charging for some of the other earbuds that they've been releasing lately. And to be honest, Skullcandy hasn't necessarily knocked it out of the park when it comes to true wireless earbuds. So the fact that they're charging a little bit more for these, it definitely had me curious as to what they've added with this pair and what makes these a little bit different. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about the sound itself and what all comes inside the box, and see if it's worth the $50 price tag. So to start with these having the name Mod, Skullcandy wanted to take the approach that you can modify or customize these because they do have it where it works with Skullcandy's app, and within the app you can customize the controls the way that you want to. There's some pre-built EQ settings like the movie mode, the music mode, the podcast mode, but there is also a custom EQ setting where you can go in and customize it yourself. So there is a few customizable options within there. But some other things that you're able to do is this pair works with the tile locator, which is something that Skullcandy has been doing for quite a while. So if you're somebody that has a hard time keeping up with your earbuds, it is very nice to have this feature to be able to locate where you last had them. And another thing that I think is very convenient about this pair is it also has multi-point pairing. So you can connect to two devices at a time. And although you can't listen to music or anything out of both at the same time, you can connect to your tablet where you may be watching a movie. But if a phone call comes in, it's just easy to switch over and take that call without having to go in and disconnect from one device to connect to the other. So that is a huge plus, especially in this price range. But another thing about this pair that also surprised me is it has a stay aware mode, basically an awareness or transparency mode. And this way you can hear your surroundings. And this is a huge plus if you're somebody that's looking for a pair to use outdoors, if you're gonna be running, or if you're gonna be going to the gym, or if you just like to hear things in your office. This is definitely a nice touch because it's something we normally only see in pairs that have active noise canceling. And I think they did a pretty decent job with this mode. I was able to hear my surroundings fairly well. It definitely sounds slightly digital. And with this pair, I was also able to carry on a conversation without having to take the earbuds out. But also, speaking of using these outdoors, they do come in with an IP55 rating. So it means it's water resistant, but also dust resistant as well. And this is another huge plus, again, if you're gonna use them outdoors, or if you're just gonna use them on a job site, like if you work construction and there's dust and everything flying around you, it gives you a little bit more peace of mind that you're not gonna ruin your earbuds. And the water protection is gonna be fine against sweat and rain and splashes and things like that. But this is still not one of those pairs that you would submerge into water. Now, as far as what they include inside the box, you do get 3 sets of silicone ear tips, and it comes with a very short USB-C cable. And actually on one end, it doesn't look like your normal USB cable, but it will work into any charging brick that you have that works with a normal USB plug-in. And speaking of the charging cable, battery life is pretty decent on this pair. Now, because of the size of the case, I actually expected these to have a little bit more battery life on the case, but the earbuds themselves, you're going to get about 7 hours, where with the charging case, you're gonna get about 34 hours total. And although it doesn't have Qi wireless charging, which means you're gonna have to use that USB-C cable, this pair does have a fast charge feature where a 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. Now, we've definitely seen better on other earbuds, but I think it's nice that you even get this because it's nice to know that if your earbuds aren't charged, you can throw them back in the case for 10 minutes and get that quick 2 hours of use. Now, moving over to looking at the actual case and the earbuds themselves, from a design standpoint, it's kind of a mixture between the Skullcandy Indie case, and then the earbuds remind me a lot of the original Skullcandy Sesh earbuds. It just kind of has that look to them. But the case is a fairly large case. You can see on the bottom it has the USB-C input, and then right next to it is the indicator light. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. But when you pop open the lid, you see that the earbuds are sitting in there. And again, it's an interesting choice that it is a large case for such small earbuds. But the earbuds do have that design where it fits into your ear canal and allows basically the outside part to just lay flat. And this is important because this pair uses button controls. And although I normally prefer button controls, I really don't like the way that Skullcandy laid them out on this pair. They basically make it where you have no choice but to put your finger behind the earbud, which is going to be next to your ear, and then grab it so that you're able to push the button. Because if you just try to press the button itself, you are going to be jamming this earbud into your ear, and it is just not comfortable. But the huge plus is you can go in the app to customize your controls. And then once you do that, which I had to go in and switch around a few things, you can have your earbuds have control over everything. So I was able to have mine play, pause, skip my tracks forward, go backwards, and also have volume control. But again, I did have to sacrifice the ability to switch it into the awareness mode. So you do have to go into the app to actually do that if this is how you decide to lay out your controls. But for you guys that do like to use your earbuds for taking phone calls, this is another interesting choice that Skullcandy only decided to have one microphone on each earbud, because we've seen some earbuds lately that has 3 mics per earbud or 2 mics. So one mic seems to be an interesting choice, but what they're using is what they call clear voice. So they're using basically like AI to focus in on what you're saying and trying to have it where it's blocking out a lot of your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the Skullcandy Mod XT, and overall I think it does a fairly decent job of picking up my voice. Obviously it sounds fairly digital, and I do think it has a little bit of a warmer tone to it, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. And the sound was what surprised me the most with this pair. Now, it didn't surprise me that Skullcandy kind of stuck to the usual consumer-friendly U-shaped sound signature, but it does lean a lot more towards the treble. It seems as though they wanted to make this a very detailed-sounding earbud, which they definitely pulled off, but they also still allow these to have a very boomy bass. Now, it is not overpowering anything. In fact, the bass kind of has a slight hollowness to it, which gives it a little bit of depth, so it doesn't sound like it's pounding you like right there in front of your face. And so what this is allowing everything else to do is it allows your mids to step forward enough that you can hear male and female vocalists cleanly. If you listen to genres that are a little more chaotic like metal, you don't have that bass just coming in and pushing that vocalist back, or just making it where you're having a hard time hearing other instruments. And because the treble is so clean on this pair, you're able to hear the crashing of cymbals, you're able to hear a lot of subtle things, and I was really impressed with the way that Skullcandy tuned these. Now, this is just using them with the music EQ setting. Again, like I said earlier, you can switch it over into that movie mode, which pulls out dialogue a little bit better, and also the podcast mode, which really just focuses solely on vocals. So it's nice that you have these different options. Now, when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, this is where these are just decent. It still made me feel like I was in a medium to large size room, but it just didn't really feel as open as some of the other earbuds that I've tested. But again, I have to kind of keep in mind that this is a $50 pair of earbuds. So really my overall opinion on them is this is a step in the right direction for Skullcandy. I still hate the fact that they designed the button the way that they designed them on here, and I wish that these had wireless charging. I think at this point, because we've tested other earbuds that have wireless charging in this price range, it's just something I've kind of come to expect, or maybe it's just something I've just become accustomed to. I like being able to drop my earbuds on a wireless charger and not have to just plug in a cable and unplug and do all of that. But outside of those things, the fact that these have app compatibility that's giving you those different EQ options, being able to have the tile locator so that if you lose these, it's easy to find them, and also being able to customize your controls and get the sound that you're getting out of these, especially with them only being 50 bucks, again, I think is a very good move for Skullcandy. So guys, that wraps up my video and kind of a first look on the brand new Skullcandy Mod XT. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.